Hey everybody, this is BBLicious and this is part 1. So recently I was speaking with someone who was saying they didn't know how to do deco but they wanted to learn. She wanted to build her own club but she doesn't know the first thing about deco. She needs to start from the bottom up, doesn't know how to build a foundation or anything. So this tutorial is probably going to be in multiple videos, and I'm building a club from the ground up, okay? So let's start with this. I am currently on a basic part vacant, and I am currently in the default area. So what I did was I took out an AC unit. That's just a common prop, and I'm not really going to reenact this, but I'm going to tell you how to do it, okay? Because I've already done this. You set out an AC, and generally the middle ground I always start with is 80,000 in the air. So you want to set up your rules before you actually get to this property, otherwise you're going to have to F5. So set up your rules so that you can fly as the owner. So make sure you have fly and put the AC out, and you want to set 80,000 as your destination. But you see I have 8571. That is because the AVI is 571 clicks tall, okay? And if I just put in 80,000, I'm going to end up at 79.3 something because of that 571. And you're going to fall, like if you have a court floor at 80,000 and then you go to jump to it, you're going to actually land under it. So make sure you account for the height of your AVI. So 80,000 plus 571 is 8571. That is where you want to set the height of your clicky, okay? Now these numbers right here you can determine once you get there. You can come back and change these or whatever, but you can steal these numbers if you want to from the video. I don't care. Alright, so make sure at this point you make sure you're flying, and then you click this and it'll port you to, let's just say it ported me to right here. Now I'm flying, okay? Just pretend I'm in the air and I'm flying, and there's nothing here but air, okay? So you want to take a court floor at a prop. Okay, now everybody does not do it this way. This is just how I do it, okay? Let me change the color up on this so I can differentiate it from the others, and you can see the difference as well. Okay, so a lot of times when you have a very large space to cover, people will use the water surface. And the water surface is big, but this is why I don't like using it. You see how big it is? I don't know if you can see from the air, but where the green line's in that. So let me set up there. So here's what I don't like about the water surface. So it's not square, like it curves off around the edges, but you can make that collidable and it will cover a large area. I have used water surface before, and I always have holes happen in the corners, and I hate it. And it just ends up being me having to put down extra court floors to cover it up and all this other crap. It's easier for me to just do this. Do what you want. If you want to use court floors, fine. If you want to use the water surface, fine. That is up to you. Now, the reason why you see so many court floors is because court floors have quirks. They're like the redheaded stepchild. They never fucking behave the way they're supposed to, okay? So you have to treat it a certain way. If you don't, you're gonna have to delete it and start over and F5 and all this other bullshit, because they're quirky as fuck, okay? So you just gotta know how to deal with them. Listen up, because I'm gonna tell you how. First of all, you put a court floor down and make it collidable. Do not size it any larger than 1 by 1 by 1. If it is part of your foundation, do not size it larger than 1 by 1 by 1. Also, if you make the, let me choose this one. Yep. So if you make the y-axis larger than 1, even 101, this little sucker right here will say, it will act up. You remember I said redheaded stepchild? It will act like an ass, and if you try to walk on it, it's going to create invisible holes. Have you ever went somewhere and you were just walking along minding your business, suddenly you fall through? No explanation? That is why. Because somebody probably used a court floor and made it taller than 1.0. Okay? Because this little sucker will just, invisible holes will pop up anywhere and everywhere. They're erratic. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just one of the quirks of the, it's a fault. Okay? So do not make it any taller than 1.0. Now, there is an exception to this rule. If you are using the court floor not as your base foundation, not collidable, but instead you're using it to tile a texture and use it like a floor covering or something like that, now you can make it as big as you want to. If you make it a ceiling or a wall or a floor, just to hold the texture but not to be collidable, you're fine. Make it as big as you want, okay? But if it's part of your foundation and you make it collidable, do not make it taller than 1 by 1. I'm sorry, do not make it taller than 1.0, and it should not be sized no bigger than 1 by 1 by 1, because if you do, again, it's going to put the holes in it and it's not going to act right. Same for when you're making stairs. That's a different tutorial, but I'm going to tell you right now, when you're making stairs, you start out at 0.30. This number will be 0.30. This will be 1 and this will be 1, and then you rotate it at 30 degrees, and that's how you make the ramp for your stairs and make it collidable, of course. So that's how you do that. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, that's why you see so many freaking core floors right here, because I went and laid them down one by one, lined them up to create this big old area that I could build on. Now, after I built all this, I saved it as a layout, and that would be the smart thing to do. You see here, court floors foundation times 922. That's how many court floors are out here. Or you can say 20 by 20, or how many rows you make versus across. But just make sure to save it as a layout. That way, the next time you go to build something, all you have to do is go to the property you want to build on, apply this layout, and start building. You don't have to lay this shit out all over again. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to show you a quick way. You're probably looking at this going, I bet this took forever. Yes and no. It could have took forever, but I've been doing this a long time, and I have a little system, and I'll show you how I do it. Also, you may have noticed there's a big indent right there. That's because there's a big invisible blockage right there that RLC has in place. Probably like one of those buildings on the outside of Zabby's, you know, that's the collide is blocking that off, so that's probably what that is. So anyway, I just went around it, and I could have built out that way more too, but I was like, nah, I think this is big enough. Okay, so okay, let's pretend I'm flying. I'm in the air. I'm gonna set this to collide. Now, one of the things about when you clone something, it will automatically offset to the side. It will offset on the z-axis by 100. Now, depending which direction you're headed, it could be negative 100 or it could be positive 100. So you just watch this number and see. So I've highlighted this court floor, and I'm going to click on the clone icon. Now watch this number right here. It's either going to be 183.03 or it's going to be 185.03. But before I clone it, I'm going to copy this number. Clone, see, 183.03, and you can see right here the offset this is the one on top is the cloned one, and here's the edge of it, so it's sitting on top of the original. So I'm just going to paste the number I just copied, and it's going to put it back in its place. Now I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to put it in front of it, and I'm just going to layer a 3. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it a few. What did I say, a 3? I'm just going to eyeball it. Okay, so this one says 183.98. This one says 184.03. Okay, so these numbers in the z-axes are all very close. They're not exact, but they're all very close. So I know the number I want them to be lined up as is this one right here, 184.03. So I'm just going to right click on this one, paste. Right click on that one, paste. Right click on that one, paste. So now they're all lined up perfectly. And now I'm going to get down, maybe, if I can learn how to work this sucker. Okay, so now let's just say I've lined this as all the way out, like as far as I want it. Okay, now I need to go this way or that way, whichever way, or you can go both ways. It don't matter, you can start in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, so this 168.36 is the number over here. I'm going to copy this one. So my mouse is going to remember this one. My mouse clipboard is going to remember this number. My brain is going to remember this number, 168.36. I'm going to clone this, and I'm going to go this way. I'm just going to eyeball it. So now the number we got to worry about is this one right here. This one's going to change, but this is going in the other direction. So what is it, 168.36? My brain sucks. So we're going to copy this one. And the way I line it up is, if you watch the red line right here, the collide line, I always butt that up against the actual red part of the court floor. So I'm just going to eyeball a few of them. Okay, and then I'm going to line them up by pasting the number I copied. Okay, so once I kind of have my outline, I have my floors going this way and I have my floors going that way. Now, on the second row, I have to line up, this next court floor has to line up with this one and this one. Okay, so this one's 184.03. Okay, so this number is going to change because this number is going to match up with this one right here. Okay, let me see which way this. Okay, next tip, when you go to delete or court floor or anything that is collidable, remove the collide first. Take off the collide and then delete, because if you delete it with the collide still on it, the collide is going to remain even though the prop is gone. So you will have to F5 like 50 times, log out, log back in, and it still might be there. Like, it'll eventually go away, but it's just a hell of a what's the word I'm looking for? Nuisance. So okay, so I want to see which way this is the number we need to copy because we're going this way. I want to see which direction this clones. Okay, it's cloning to the right. It's cloning to the right, which is the direction I want it to go in. So I'm gonna go to this court floor, and I'm gonna copy this number right here. So I'm going back to the one I cloned, and I'm gonna paste this number. I'm gonna go to this one, clone, paste. Go to this one, clone, paste. Okay, so my second row is done. So I'm going to go to this court floor. I'm going to copy the Z axis, and I'm going to go up here to row 2. I'm going to clone it, paste. What this is doing, this is taking the Z axis, the position of this court floor, because I'm making this row, and when I clone it, I'm telling the court floor to slide into position over here in front of this one. So I'm going to this one, I'm going to clone. You see it offsets by 100, but when I paste this row's position into the slot, it automatically falls into place. So I need to grab this number, clone, paste, clone, paste, clone, paste. And you don't even have to stand on it, okay? You can, like, I could be standing anywhere, literally anywhere, as long as I can grab it. Lots of times I'll be standing way over here and I'm working way down here, like, as long as, you know, because the numbers are doing the work anyway. So in just a few minutes I've created this square with everything lined up perfectly, no holes, so you can run corner to corner. And make sure that you see this. You see on the court floor there's a surface area, but then there's an extended area that is pure collide, and it is invisible, so you don't have to line the court floors up red to red. You don't have to do that. As long as the edge of the collide is touching, and you don't even have to line it up that close. That's just how I do it. So here's the edge of the collide for this court floor, and here's the edge of the collide for this one. You can do it collide to collide. Just make sure they're overlapping a little bit. I overlapped the collides just a tad. That will work as well. Okay. Alright, so now that you've had a mini tutorial on how I lay court floors so quickly, I mean, literally, I just go, I can really zoom through these. Once I get into a rhythm, oh shit. You see what I did there? I fucked up. Watch. I'm still in the air. I fucked up there. Running my flap. After I just told you not to fucking do it. Oh my gosh. Newbie mistake. Noob mistake. Yeah, I'm gonna have to F5 like 14 times now. Gotta love it. So, I am going to pause the video, and when I get this collide gone, I'll be back. So, just hang tight. I gotta find it. Here we go. Okay, we're back, and surprisingly, it only took one F5 to get rid of that collide. I don't know why it made it so easy this time, but like I said, these things are like redheaded stepkids. They are so quirky, so unpredictable. They talk back like they literally give you the hardest time ever. So, alright. So, once you get your court floor built out, you just kind of decide. Now, I can't remember where I landed. Well, let me go to Start Point Manager. I want to go to Default. Click on that. Okay, here's where I landed. So, here's where I want to start building. I know what I want, but I don't really know, like I don't really know what, I don't want to know what design I want to build. But I have done some collecting of textures already. I know it's going to be a club. And I kind of have a picture that gave me an idea, but I know I know it's not going to end up that way, because every single time that I go to build something, it literally never comes out the way I want it to. Never. So I wonder if this, is it still recording? I guess it is. Okay, so let me just make sure. Oh well. Alright, so this is actually kind of how I want it to look, but I don't know that's how it's going to turn out. And I do not know what, this is bugging me. I need to check it. Yeah, it's still going. Okay. So I know that I want I don't want levels as in like stairs, like floors, but I don't want it to be completely flat. And this is pretty cool on the floor like that. I would like to do something like that. That looks like carpet with a dance floor with a neon line, some neon steps. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then like another level up here, and then there's walls. So let me start with the walls and the floors. And here's a texture I want to use, but I want it to be pink. So before I start anything, and I do have a name for it, Club Delight, and I'm building this under Bad Deco, Club Delight. Oh, let's see, did I save this? No. I've already been saving some neons. Wallpaper black. What color is that? Orange, or okay, let's just say gold. Gold neon. Okay, and I need my so I need, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Let me just put it under my junk folder. Club Delight. Okay, wallpaper from gold to pink. If I don't make notes, y'all, I am old. Like, my memory sucks ass. So I'm going, okay, by the way, I'm using GIMP version 2.80. It is an older version. It's a little bit crashy, so if you hear me cussing when it crashes, that's going to be the whole thing. So I'm using hue saturation, and I'm going to adjust the hue until it gets to the pink I want. So that's kind of a purpley pink. I don't want that. I want pink. That's red. Okay. Like, okay. So hue saturation -75. Okay, so I made a note what I did, so if I have to do it for future, Like if I want to match other textures to that color, I know what I used. Okay, so I'm going to try something else too. I want to see how it looks doubled. So I'm going to, well, I don't want to do that. It might crash. Let me see if, wow, it looks tiled. Yeah, no. Okay, so let me just resize this texture. It's already 512 by 256. I'm going to make it 512. Make it a little bit taller. I stretched it out. Come on. Work with me. I'm just trying something. I'm just experimenting here. Don't know if this is going to work. I don't know how this is going to look. But you're going to be here with me through the process. So grab something to drink. Grab a smoke if you need it. Whatever. And let's see what happens. So that basically is just doing the same thing. Just stretching it. So I wonder. It doesn't really look any better. No. No. Let me try something else. Don't like that either. I don't like that either. So I guess this is it. We're using this. Okay, so I've resized it, so I'm putting a CR on the end of that file so that I know that I've cropped and or resized this texture. So I need to go to my hosting folder, and I need to keep checking my emails today. So you're going with me. Like you're seeing everything. Oh. Okay, I need to pause because I need to do emails. Okay, so I have, so now I need to upload the texture. So I've opened my hosting site, and I think I need to make a folder for this. It's going to be, yep, I do. So make a folder. Okay. So now we're in the folder, so I'm going to upload this. And I don't need a home warranty today. I mean a car warranty today, thank you. I've been getting those more often lately. What the hell? They're back at it. Okay. So this is the one I want to upload. So I think I want to see how it looks on the Zabby partition. So instead of using a wall, you can use a Zabby partition. I should have looked up partition. Here we go. So what this does is this doubles your texture. Whatever texture you put on it, it automatically doubles it. Always set your file caching to forever. Oh man, that's not going to look good. Look at that. This blows. Okay. Let's try a trick and see if it works. Man, this sucks. Alright, so my texture is 512 by 512. Half of that is 256. So I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to grab this. I forgot what it's called, but if you look down here, it'll tell you where it's at. Oh, this is the guide. So you see the numbers moving down there. So I'm going to move this over to 256. That's going to tell me my guide is exactly in the middle. And I'm going to drop it. So I know this is exactly the middle. So now I'm going to take the rectangle select and I am going to copy the first half of that. I'm going to click on copy visible and then I'm going to edit, paste as a new layer. Then I am going to flip it and then I am going to use the arrows on my keyboard to move this texture over to the right. Now what I'm trying to do is make this seamless. And now I'm going to remove my guide and I'm going to save this as, because I want to save my layers. See, this is called XCF file. I'm going to put a 1 behind the CR so I know this is the second version of this file. And then I'm going to click on File, Export, make sure to put the 1 behind it, save it as a JPEG, because PNGs are larger files and you don't want all that space. So make sure I upload the right one. Now let me see how this looks. Ta-da! That looks better. That looks better. Looks smoother, doesn't it? Okay. So that worked. So let me see how it's going to look stretched out. Alright, now we're cooking with gas. Let's see if I can make it taller. And longer. Let's see how much I can stretch this sucker out. Okay. Honestly, I really don't think people are going to be close enough to it to see it's starting to pixelate around there, so I think I might just use it like that. And let's see, I want to look up pink, let me see, pink club carpet. Click on images. No, 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 no. Okay, that looks interesting. Okay. We're getting closer. Okay, so I think I like the confetti one better. Okay. Come on. What, I can't make it bigger? Let me see, y'all, what I can do. Okay, so that saved it pretty good, 450 by 450. So I'm going to resize it, and I'm going to save it under, oops, I'm not in bulletins, Make sure when you save something, it always takes you back to the folder that you need to be in. Okay, carpet, black, confetti, multi, CR, JPEG. I don't know if there's enough pink in that for me. Let's see if I can do something about that. Okay, well yes, in fact I can. So I'm going to resave this under multi CR underscore pink. That way I know it's the one I changed. And then I am going to use I think I'm going to try the 3x3 and see how big I can make it. No! No, 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 no! What? Okay, well, do I want it to leave it like that? Make it look like a tile? Or do I want to trim that? Bitch. I should have seen that. You can kind of see it on the edges there. So I'm taking my crop tool and I'm just going to come in a little bit. And let me tile it again. Yep, I'm missing. Well, it's not showing up there. So let me resize it. Anytime you trim something, make sure you resize it again. And this is going to be the first version of the pink one. So I'm going to delete that one. And I'm going to upload the second one. Okay, that looks much better. Thank you. Alright, I need to handle emails. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me see. I'll make this 10 by 10. Crap, I knew that was too good to be true. So once I made it bigger, see, I did not crop it as well as I thought I did. So let's see if I can see which edge it's on. I think it might be this one right here. Can barely see that. So let's do this again. Don't forget to delete the one you don't need anymore so it doesn't clog up your hosting site, your folder. Okay, so that's been fixed. I think I might need a court floor. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm just going to clone one of these because it's already down. Gonna remove the collide. I'm gonna raise it up a couple notches, a couple clicks. I'm gonna make it a 10 by 10. Yeah, this one. And let's see how it tiles on a court floor. Okay, this is better. But you can see the tiling, and that bothers me, but let's make it bigger. Okay. So I just picked it up and moved it, and let's move this out of the way. I don't think it needs to be any bigger than this. Just make sure all of it is on the actual court floor. Now this next part is really fun. You're going to love this. Also, you should note that I'm being sarcastic. Okay, so I'm going to lower this back down to 80,000, and it's going to flicker. And this is a good thing, you know why? Because all these freaking court floors underneath this carpet have to be made invisible. You want to know why? Here's why. See all these green numbers? So every one of these court floors is giving you a reading of like 9, 10, 12. So if you make it invisible, it'll go down to 1. And that is going to, okay, this one's registering 18, 19. So watch this number. It went down to 1. Just went down to 1. This one went down to 1. So make all of your court floors invisible, okay? If you did it this way, if you did it with the water surface, it wouldn't hurt to make that invisible either. If you do not have to look at it, if it is not an integral part of the vision, make it invisible. Save yourself on some load lag time, okay? So I'm going to make this big court floor invisible, and I am going to go to properties for the rug, for the carpet. I'm going to right click on it, and it should light up the border of that, and it should not disappear. So I can go around and I can just make these invisible. You see, I'm not traveling all over creation. I need to turn this off. Okay, so I clicked on the wrong one. Let me reset this. There we go. You don't have to do it in any specific order. Actually, since I kind of got my outline going, I don't have to click on the big one anymore. So you're just going to keep doing this until all of them are invisible, and then you're going to come back and make the carpet visible, and all that will be gone. And your FPS will go up too. To get this little thing right here, you press F2 on your keyboard, turns it on and off. I'll leave mine on all the time. It doesn't hurt anything. I can just look at it at a glance and see my position, which is right here. This is where my AVI is right now. This is my position. And this number right here, the 4.74, if you've ever set a start point and you see the yaw YAW. That's what this number right here is, 4.74. It tells the computer which direction you're facing. So if you want to face this direction when you land at the door, you'll put 4.74 as your yaw. Okay. FPS, frames per second. The higher the frame number, the less lag. The lower the number, the more lag you have. If you're at 1, you're frozen. Okay. Latency is very low. The higher numbers, you'll get stuff like freezing in world, chat lag, stuff like that. So when there are times when there is chat lag, if you look at your latency, it's probably going to be like 2,000, 4,000, whatever. It's going to be high, like super high. And really those are the only, that tells you the template of the property. The instance is going to be this right here. This number right here. It's part of your URL. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to pause this while I make the rest of them invisible, and then I will be back. Alright, I am back. And I'm down to my last few squares. A lot has happened since that pause. So I'm back to my last few squares, and let me get these two done right quick. Okay. So I've made all these invisible. So let me bring the carpet back so we know where to build. There we go. So this is going to be our building space, but it really probably doesn't need to be that big. I'm going to put multiple dance stages in here. There needs to be a dance floor. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start lining the walls up, and then once we get those in place, we'll be able to see where we need to cut down out, like if we need to bring the walls in or whatever. We can do that. Alright, so I have my wall. Bring this sucker on over here. Okay, first thing you need to do is make sure, I don't give a fuck what your eyeballs tell you, make sure that your walls, your floors, everything you put down is rotated to the correct nth of a degree. Excuse me. Sometimes when you're eyeballing it, this will say 84 instead of 90, and that motherfucker will still look straight. Okay? It don't to me, but to somebody else it might. Make sure your numbers are either 0, watch, 0, 90, 180, where's it at? It's over there. Or 270. Excuse me. Just like on a clock, your quarter hours are 15, 30, 45, and 0 at the top of the hour. Just like that, your rotation for this is like a clock, except it's in 90 degrees. 90 degree increments. So it's going to be 0, 90, 180, and 270. If you can't remember that, remember what's 9 times 1, 9 times 2, 9 times 3, and then back to 0. Now when this is done, we're going to go back and we're going to make all these other court floors either invisible, or we're going to delete them. Whichever one we feel like doing. So I'm going to do the corner right quick, and I'm going to whoop this around. Whoop. So this needs to be at 0. So I'm grabbing the wall and pulling it into place as close as I can get it, but I want to make sure that my corners are mitered. Okay, you see that gap right there? It's not mitered. It's not it's not meeting all the way. So we're just going to use a little clicky thingy here. I'm going to make this as close as possible without it going too far. And when you run away from it, if it's flashing, you need to go back a click. That looks okay. Okay, so what we're gonna do, excuse me, I had to get that big old yawn out. I don't know which direction we're going in, if we're on this one or this one, but we're gonna guess. So I'm going to keep that one in my clipboard on the mouse and this one's in my brain, 7146. Let's see where we're at. So the closest number to where I put it is, ding ding, this one, 3046. And then you just make sure that this is, with all this black it's kind of hard to tell, but you want the edges to meet but not overlap. I used to get so frustrated with my husband decoing because he'd be like, why is this flashing? And I'd go, look, he'd have it overlapped by like 3 feet. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious right now? How many times have I told you not to overlap this stuff? Let the edges meet. You don't want a gap there, but no overlapping, because it's going to flash. So just make sure there's no gap there. Alright. Well, how about them apples? It did it perfectly. Like, mine literally never turns out perfect, so I don't know how that happened. We're going to miter the corners again. So we're going in the opposite direction, so we know this time instead of using this number, we're going to be using this one. So this is how we're going to line it up. Come, yeah. I messed up the number. Whoop. We want to be able to see through that gap so that we can tell. Wrong direction. Okay, once that gap is closed, we lock it into place. Let's see how the corners look. Okay. Looking good so far. Every now and then it won't hurt to check on your rotation. Make sure you're still at the right number. We are. Okay. I'm gonna have to pick something out for the ceiling too. I have not picked out a ceiling texture, so this is gonna be fun. I don't know, something mirror ballish maybe, or should it be something plain? Or should it be like the carpet? Okay. So I need to rotate this again. And miter the corners. Now sometimes when you're moving these walls around, they will rotate a little bit. So if something starts to look wonky or it's not adding up right, check your rotation. Okay, did you see where you can kind of see those little dots right there? That means you got it honed in a little too close. Just back up a click so that goes away and you should be good. Because if you don't, when you run back away from it, it's going to flash and you don't want anything to flash. We're back to this number. We need to keep an eye on the FPS too. Right now it's not as high as it could be because we still have all these court floors hanging out that are not invisible or deleted. So the FPS is not going to be as high as we want it to be. Sorry about this, y'all, but I have to keep checking my email. Okay. Okay, so we're back at this number. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong buttons. We can take up some of this space by creating an entrance. I know it's looking pretty damn big right now. But, which one was that on? Yep, this one. Why do I always click the button going in the wrong direction? Never fails. Got it wrong again. Okay. Now the trick is gonna be lining up this corner. But it looks like it lined up pretty good. Look at that. Look at that corner right there. That looks good. Okay, and fit perfectly on our carpet too. So that's good. So let's see. Club ceiling texture. What kind do we want? This maybe? I don't know. That looks very metalish. Very metalish. Or maybe we want something more like this. Or like this. Oh my, it's got watermarks all over it. We're not using that. Well, that's a bust. What else we got? Let's look at this and see what the ceiling is in this one. Oh, I forgot. That's small. We gotta get a GIMP and look at that. Here it is. It's hard to tell. And there's some duct work too. This looks like a factory thing. That looks like a... Are those lights or is that a catwalk or something? I don't know, but I like this whole stair idea. And there's like the booth there in the middle. So kind of like a pit. So the dance floor is kind of like a pit. That's got a watermark. Excuse me. One of the things I did when I had it paused was I ordered a pizza. So I had dinner. Excuse me. And every time I eat or drink, it makes me burp or make weird noises or some shit. Is that the same club? Let me save this picture. I like that bar though. Okay. So let's see what this has got going on. I wonder if that has a watermark. I don't see one. Maybe we can use this. Maybe. Let's see how it tiles. We can... oh yeah, that's not gonna tile very well. It's because of this little doobie flitchy right here. Let's see if we can cut that off. Let me rescale it. And now rescale it again. Not rescale, retile it. Alright, so what I'm looking at is right here. This line of lights right here. These are too close. The reason they're too close is because there's actually 4 of these here. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here. The texture has been tiled. So this needs to be cut out, this section right here. Like, let me show you. Like, this needs to be cut so that half of the lights on top and half the lights on the bottom, because when this is stacked on top it creates one whole light. Does that make sense? Alright, let's try that. Okay, now see, that worked out pretty well. but we still have a lighting issue here. So I think what I might do is trim this so that it is trim it this way. See how that works. That doesn't look any better. I wonder how it'll look once it gets. No, I'll leave it there for now. Let's try this one. Let's see how this one tiles. Okay, it tiles better, but okay. Okay. This one might work. Or do we want to go with like a black? Something black. Oh, what is this? That's really pretty. It would be a lot prettier if the watermarks was not all over it. It's pretty. I like the colors. These are pretty. Oh, here we go. Something like this. Yes, something like this. Yes. This might actually look good as the dance floor if I can turn that pink. Turn the saturation up and the darkness. Okay. I like this. I like this a lot. And we might can use. Now see, why couldn't I find these earlier, damn it? Because this is really what I wanted. Crazy. Let's try this one. Let's see how it tiles. Okay, yes. Need to resize it. It's at 225, so we're going to make it 250. Whoa, 256. Your X and Y resolution should always be at 72. I'm going to run this up so I can actually see what the hell I'm doing. Because y'all, I am 53 years old and I have to wear glasses, so Deco is getting a little bit harder for me. What was those numbers I used earlier? Hue sat, -75, O, and O. Hue saturation, -75. Okay, so not as bright as. Okay, yeah, that's not working. Let's go to brightness, contrast, brightness. And contrast. Alright, let's save it. Wrong folder. I need to be in Bad Deco Club Delight. Listen, Your texture searches are going to take just as much time as it does to actually do the deco. Tile, ceiling, black and pink, cropped and resized, JPEG. And I'm going to upload this. Okay, let me pause this. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Wait a minute, let me make sure this thing's going because I didn't look. It is, okay. I'm really bad about that. Okay, so I'm going to copy that texture. And the ceiling texture, we're going to have it on this court floor, same as the carpet. So instead of bringing a new one out and having to adjust it and do all that, we're going to clone the one we got. So I've clicked on the carpet, noted it's at 20053. So it changed to 19, so I'm going to change this to 20. And then I'm going to raise it up to 81,000. Like, it's not even above my head yet. 85,000. Now it's so far up there. I'm going to put the script on it, and then I'm going to make it double-sided so we can see it. Then we're going to raise it back down. What the actual fuck right now? Did I mess that up? 253. I did mess it up. I did mess it up. There we go. Now it's fixed. Okay, I'm gonna jump up. Oh shit. Anything I can do to waste one more freaking minute. Alright. Alright, so we laid this on top, and now it's like just a little lower than the very top. So I'm gonna, okay, so now we have our ceiling in place. So now let's take a look and see what we got. It looks like a club. How about that? Starting to look like a club in this joint. Okay. So I forgot where the entry is, but oh well, we'll make it right here. Let's make it, let's do some let's put a walkway around here, like a catwalk around the club. Like when you land, you're gonna land on a platform, and it's gonna go all the way around the club, and then you go downstairs, and the dance floor will be in the middle. So I'm gonna take one of these court floors we already got, one of these individual ones. Yeah, that one. I'm going to clone it, and I'm gonna raise it up off the floor. I'm going to make it visible, and I'm going to put it, you know what, I could have just cloned one that was already freaking there. I'm going to line it up with that one. So that one is 21,632. Okay. But is it high enough? So we don't want to get too close to the ceiling because we don't want to, but we want to give ourselves a little bit of elevation. Okay, I think this will work. And yes, we are going to collide those walls and all that. Okay, so, but how deep do we want that to be? Do we want it? I think we can bring it out some. So 216.32. Whoops. Do we want it to be this thick all the way around? Sure, why not? And by the time the stairs get down, there'll be a big hole in the floor for dancing. Yeah, this ought to be good. Okay, so I forgot which number we're working with on that end. Okay, so this is the number that stays the same, I think. Nope. It's this one. Okay. So I'm gonna manually do each one because when it clones to my left. No, it doesn't. It clones this way. It clones like it's going behind me. But I could still, hold on. Oh yeah. No, I'll have to, yeah, no. This one has to be done manually. So I'm just making sure that the red line butts up against this. Does not have to be perfect. It can be close. And we're going to collide these walls and ceiling too, so don't worry about the camera, you know, like the walls of the ceiling being in the camera. We're going to get to that soon enough. Okay, so this one I'm actually going to, yep, it's always the wrong freaking number. I don't know why I do that. I'm going to make this invisible for a second so I can grab that and bring it in. Put the wall back. Okay. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the side of the wall here and lay these court floors. And I'm going to pause the video when I do that, while I do that. And then I'll be back. Okay, so I want to show you something. So I got these set out right here, these little fill-in, but now I'm putting the first row of the full core floors. Can think of the name. So here's how I'm doing it to make it go quicker. So this little piece, it's already in the wall, I'm cloning it. And you can see it pops out this way, so it's cloning in the direction I want it to. So I'm going to go to position, and I'm going to, so I grab the position of this court floor I'm standing on, and this is the number we're grabbing. So I'm going back to the one I just cloned. I'm going to paste that number. So when it brings it out into the correct position, it's only half of a court floor. So we're going to have to go to scale, and we're going to have to make this full size into a 1. Okay? So don't let that throw you. Don't let the scaling throw you at all. You could do it before we clone it. Before we move it actually. Just don't forget to do that. At least that way you don't have to manually place it. It's just click, copy, paste, all that. Makes things go a lot faster. Alright, I'm going to pause this again and I'll be back when it's done. Alright, so I have court floors up on all sides. They're not quite even, which is bothering me. So, like on this side it's 2 and a slice, and then on the other side it's 2. So, I am going to bring these walls in. And I can't remember which one brings it in. I'm going to copy this number so my brain doesn't have to remember it. Okay, wrong set of numbers. So I always get it fucking wrong. Wrong direction. Here we go. Okay, so on the other side, there's a little bit of the court floor sticking out. About like that. Okay, so actually, we can delete this set of court floors. So, I'm gonna delete. Oh, I need to fix the walls. Okay, so it's this number right here. So I'm gonna adjust this wall and this wall and that wall. Okay. My brain is already tired tonight. Got a lot going on. don't know if I got them all. I'll have to run down there and check. Okay. Stick my head out the window. I got them all except for that last one, but I don't know how far out that one goes. Yeah, I can delete that one. Okay, got them all. So that's trimmed up. And this one's gonna need to come in. I'll be daggone, I got it right that time. I messed up and ordered a pizza. I've eaten, I've had some water, and now I'm getting sleepy. It's only 8:30. I'm old, but I ain't that damn old. I don't get to bed with the damn chickens. What the hell? God. Okay. So now this one, it's 2547. I think I got the right number. Yep. Oh, I think I missed one in there. No, got it. Is there another one? Nope. I will probably find another one when I get down there, though. Okay. Remember, we always take the collide off first, because we won't want to have to be F5 and 14 times. It is a pain in the ass, but once you get in the habit of it, you're good. You're golden. We'll run back in. I can still see it. Delete. This should be all of them. Alright, now what we're going to do on this side. Nothing except I need to adjust these little suckers, because these should be lining up and they're not. So this one, so it should be $29.94. Okay. Alright, I'm going to pause it for a minute. I'm going to get a drink of water. Okay, so now we have 2 rows of court floors all around the club. Well, if I hadn't jumped in the ceiling, you would have seen that. Okay, so now I want to collide the ceiling and the walls. Okay, so the way I'm going to do the walls is like this. I always use a rail. Balcony rail. Oop, create that sucker first. And then make it long. It's not quite reaching. Okay, so now I'm going to make it tall, and I'm going to stick the collide on it, and I'm going to change the bat to, I'm going to change it to 50, and I'm going to push it up against the wall, and I'm going to lower it. Now I'm not going to lower it all the way down because these court floors that we're standing on are collided and the railing is collided as well. What happens when one collide touches another one? It creates an invisible hole for you to fall through. So if you run into this wall, if this collide is lowered all the way down into the court floor and you run into the wall, guess what? You're falling through space. Remember, we're dealing with red-headed stepchildren, so we just want to lower it down to like about ankle height or knee. Yeah, because you see where the collide line is? It's right there at my ankles. Okay, as long as it's that, at least that, and we want it so our face is not in the wall. So we need to pull this out a little bit. Okay, we're not touching the wall. Okay, so now we're going to, eventually we're going to make that invisible. So we're going to clone that, and we're just going to shove the clone over there against the room, against the wall. I'm just being lazy. $301.53. So we're gonna do that one at $301.53. Okay. Let's get over there and make sure our face is not in the wall. Whoop. It's not even close to the freaking wall. Okay, we're good. We're good. And it's lined up. Alright, so now we're going to clone this again, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees so we can put it at, crap, we can put it at 0, or we can put it at 180. Where'd it go? Okay, well, I'll show you a trick. When you lose something, make sure it's still lit up. When you lose something, wherever you're standing, hit F2 on your keyboard and this little window pops up. You're going to type in your coordinates. 4135, 108, negative 108.91, and it'll come right to you. That goes for any, you lose, if you're making an aquarium and you activate it and you lose fish in the wild, yeah, just enter your coordinates, it'll come right to you. Yes, so that's one little trick. You know, I've picked up a lot of little tricks over the years, but when it comes time to make a video, I can never remember what they are. So I don't actually remember what they are until I go to use them. So this should be this number, and I'm going to clone it. And I'm going to enter this number, and then I'm going to enter -28175 because that's my position right there, and it brought it right to me. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause it for a second. Sorry. Okay, sorry, I got a event going on, that I'm planning for somebody, and I'm having to book teams and stuff, so I have to constantly keep checking mails. Okay, so that's in place, that one, and then that one too. Yep. Okay, so now that all the rails are in place and they're collided, we are going to make them invisible. So we're just going to go around, make them invisible. Okay. And now we are going to make the ceiling collided, and I'm going to use actually the I think I'm going to use a quartz floor for that. So I'm just going to click on the ceiling. It's already a quartz floor up there. Remember that the Z axis is always the one that's going to offset when you clone it. So I'm going to copy that number, I'm going to clone it, and then I'm going to paste it back in there to straighten it up. Then I'm going to bring it down to about 819, .50, and I'm going to remove the script, and I'm going to make it collidable, and I'm going to change this to 50 because I'm only using it as a collide. I'm not walking on it. I'm only using it to block things on the ceiling. There are exceptions to every rules. 8/19/96. Oh crap, wrong number. Okay, and I'm going to make it invisible. Okay, so let's get back up on here and see if we bump our heads or not. Whoop, we bumped heads. So no more jumping out. And when we land, let's F5. Well, we didn't land where I wanted to land. Crap. How come I can't jump? Well, duh, because I'm under the core floor. Okay. Let me set the start point. if you've never set a start point before, you just type in the name of your start point. Then you're going to right click on it. You're going to click on set to current location. You're going to right click on it again, and you're going to set it as landmark entry point, and it's going to turn yellow. Then you're going to right click on it again, and you're going to click on set as the default entry point, and then it's going to turn blue. And that's how you know you set it correctly. It'll turn yellow first and then blue. So when you, oh, for fuck's sake, I landed in the same spot. Let me jump somewhere else. Alright. Let me just do it this way, see if that does it. Anyway, it's supposed to work. It'll work eventually. I need to rename this place so I can find it in my list. I bet that was my properties page. Just gonna delete it and open it once again. Alright, anyway. Alright, so, so I want, okay, so we're going to have dance team, so I want the dance stage on two sides. I want it on this side, and then I want it on the other side, so I want them on opposite sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out these court floors maybe about, I don't know how far, maybe about 2 or 3 deep. So let's count, all this running I could have been counting. Let's count how many floors we got starting with this one. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 7 is our middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this line right here between the 7th and the 8th one is our middle. So okay, so I know that's my middle, and okay, so that blocks my vision, so the wall is not in my camera. Okay, that looks deep enough for a dance floor. If I build it out one more set of okay, so can't remember which world it's in. Not in that one, apparently. It's not in that one. I think it might be this one. $168,266. This is it right here. So while I'm waiting on that to load, let's see. So this is 117. It's 270.98. 270.98 is the common number, so this is the one I want to use to build out my dance floor. 2 more on that side. 2 more on that side. So that ought to be big enough, right? I think so. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this right here's the middle. So we did 2 more on this side. Oh, shit. I did it manually and I should have done it like this. And that way I only would have had to do that. So 2 on this side and then 2 on this side. Okay, and the dance team stage is built out. What the actual fuck right now? Don't tell me profiles are messing up. When profiles mess up, then we're on our way to a mass boot or something's wrong somewhere, so oh shit. Okay. That scared me for a minute, y'all. Alright. So, now we gotta come over here and count these so we know where to put the steps. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 7's going to be the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this right here is the middle. So I'm going to mark these by making them unlit. Now, I'm not saying this is the right way to do all this shit, but it is the way that I do it. So if you can find a shortcut that works just as good or better, hey, knock yourself out. Truly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that looks about right. Just eyeballing it. Okay, so now we know where to put the steps. Alright, this is going to be the fun part. So I'm going to clone this court floor. So for steps, we start with a court floor, 1 by 1 by 1. We're going to change the scale to 0.30 1 by 1. Once again, do not ever change that middle number. Ever. Unless you are doing what I did on the ceiling, and that is colliding something where it's going to be invisible and you're not walking on it. Then it's permissible to do that. So now I'm going to rotate it 30 degrees. So we have a ramp. And then from there, all I got to do is rotate it 270 degrees so it's facing us. Okay. And now I need to lower that sucker into the ground. Probably going to have to change the size of this. Okay. What happened here? Is the ceiling that freaking low? Okay, well, whatever. Nobody's supposed to be jumping up here anyway. Okay, so I need to highlight the collides on both of these two flitches right here. So I'm actually right clicking. I'm choosing this court floor. I'm using my right click on my mouse when this lights up, and I'm clicking on properties, but I'm not left clicking, I'm right clicking my mouse. So this is going to light up that court floor. And I'm going to do the same thing to the one beside of it. Okay. So now I'm going to left click on the ramp and I'm going to bring it forward. Now I want you to see something. This red line right here is the top of the collide for the court floor on my right. This is. And this red line is the top of the collide for the court floor on my left. Okay? The one on the right, the one on the left, they meet right here. Like the left one comes all the way over to right here, and this right one comes all the way over to right here. They've overlapped this much. Okay, now this red line is the top of the collide for the ramp that we're using. Now here's how you make stairs. The top of the collide for the ramp has to meet exactly this red line right here that's combined, because these two court floors met each other and overlapped. So the top of the ramp has to has to be welded in with that red line that's connecting the two court floors down here. Okay, so we do that by, okay, so the one down at the bottom down here, see, it's not touching the carpet yet. So we're going to extend the length of the court floor. I'm going to make it an even number. And I'm going to push it out a little bit, and then I'm going to lower it until it goes into the ground. See that? See the red line on the bottom has disappeared? Okay, so now we need to line up. This one, I'm just going to eyeball the ramp so it kind of sits in the middle in between these two right here. Down here at the bottom, I'm going to eyeball it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but close. Okay, so now this red line right here has to meld with this red line. Okay, so not only do I have to bring it closer, but I have to push it down too. I have to bring it down. So I know it's kind of hard to see from a distance, but if I get any closer it might get confusing. So I'm going to use, I can't remember, I think it might be this one. I'm going to copy this number just in case I mess this up. So I'm going to bring it in, and then I'm going to bring it down. So you can see there's still a gap right there. And also, let me take the opportunity to tell you or remind you that when you do deco, you're always moving. You do not stay in one spot, because it might look perfect when you're standing here, but if you take 2 steps to the right, you might see that it's all wonky. So remember, when you're decoing, keep moving, especially when you're doing stairs. Okay, so it still needs to go down some. Oh, it looks perfect right there. But, look at that. It's not even in all the way. So, we're going to bring it in some more. Oh, that looks good. But not that way. So, you just got to kind of keep moving. And when its lines start disappearing, you need to start moving. Like, move away. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see. Look at it from all angles. Okay, so now it needs to go up. And now it looks like it is past the line. When you look at it from all angles and looks like it's where it's supposed to be, that's when you know you've hit the sweet spot. And it looks like we're either there or we're super close. So let's test it. Let's see if it works. Now, if at any point during adjustment, if this red line comes up out of the floor, you're going to have to fix it. Well, looky there. It's working. But I keep my settings on high. And in order to test your stairs to make sure everybody in RLC can use them, change your settings to 15 max FPS. And if you can get up and down the stairs without getting caught, everybody in RLC can use them. So far, so good. Yep, it's working. And I did not get caught up coming up or going down on either end. So this is how I know that my stairs were done correctly. And I'm just going to close prop to save it. Save your work regularly, you guys. You don't have to log out like it says on your property page. You don't have to do that. That's old information, I think. I can't remember where it says it. Maybe on the layouts tab. Note, you must log out of the 3D client to ensure that your current changes are saved before you save the current layout. That's not true. Maybe it used to be that way, but now I have found that if you just close prop edit, that kind of saves it, so you don't have to log out. Okay, now to keep from having to do this whole entire process all over again, on the other side of the room, oh, I forgot to mention, you can now widen this however wide you need it. I just want it widened to 1. Now let me tell you something about these little red-headed stepchildren that you're making stairs with. If you start with a court floor at the size of 1 by 1 by 1, your ramp's not going to work. Or it might half-ass work, but it'll give you trouble. It always has to be 0.30, 0.30. It has to start skinny. Once you have it in place, widen it. But if you start with a fully wide court floor, it's going to mess up on you. I don't know why. It's quirky. It's a red-headed stepchild. That's all I can tell you. Alright, so I'm going to clone this. And I'm going to run it back down to 0.30, and I'm going to rotate it to 180 degrees. And then I'm going to bring it over here Good Lord. This club feels like it's the size of a football field. Okay, so my position is 4054 by negative 19,891. Oh, and it is here. It's right up on me, in fact. So just pull this out to where I think it should be. It don't look quite even. Okay, so now I'm gonna right click on the right one, click on properties. I'm going to right click on the left one, click on properties, and then I'm going to left click on the one in the middle, which is the ramp. It's already at the right height. I just need to line it up because I cloned it from the other one that's exactly the right height. So I just need to, of course it's going the wrong way. I just need to line it up like this. Let me take a look at it again because I didn't think I got that right. I guess I did, or got it close. Hold on. It's hard to tell sometimes when it keeps disappearing like that, but you're just too close. So I swear. Well, if it's working, that's all that matters. Now, if you start out with one that is already one wide instead of 0.30, and or if you start out with a court floor that has been messing up on you and you try to do something with it, you can't. It's just going to keep messing up. It's like once it's ruined, it's ruined. You have to delete it and start over with a fresh one. Because once again, these are redheaded stepchildren that we're dealing with, and they're quirky as fuck. So just remember what you're dealing with. So I can run my settings back up to unlimited. Alright, so we have our stairs down into the pit. And then on these sides are going to be the dance floors coming out. And I might use something different. Okay. Debating on whether or not I want to continue this. It's 2 hours. Because I want to keep decoing, but I don't know if this video is too long. I'll just keep going. You can pause it if you need to. Alright, so let's build out the dance floors. The dance stages. I'm wondering if I should bring these out one more row to kind of eat up some of this dance floor. I think I will. I think I will. Okay, and then the other side. Okay, so now I need to close in some of this. I need to close in these. I don't know if I want to use that same one or if I want to use this one. So what was those numbers? Negative 75, O, and O. Let me see what color it brings with this one. Okay, O and O. Oh shit, I didn't save it. It's an orange. It's an orange one. This is a wallpaper, so I'm going to just do orange. And this one's not copy resized. Let's try this again. Now we can change the color. Wrong color. And now resize it to 512 by 256. And pink. And this is cropped and resized. Oh. Let's put a 1 behind the neon. Not to be confused with the pink one that has a CR1, but this one is in front of the CR. And let's upload this sucker. It is here. I think I'm gonna have to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, so we have to remember that these have invisible collides, so we need to bring the wall, the partition, all the way out to the collide. And out front too. Let me see how far it came out on the other side. It's still on the line. Okay. So let's see how that looks from out here. Looks like the same color on the wall too. I like it. So let's go with it. Let's go with it. So we're going to clone that, and we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. And it's not nowhere near, where'd it go? It's not nowhere near the same size. It's probably going to be about half at least. So I'm going to put a 3 here, and then I don't know where the fuck it got to, so I'm going to enter my coordinates, 7507. Oh, brought it right to me. And then I'm going to miter the corners. Not miter the corners, but you know what I mean. Gonna connect the corners. Create a corner, whatever the hell you want to call it. Alright, so you see on this corner here where it's flashing, it's because this wall and this wall is the same height. It's really not going to matter because I'm going to have a cover sitting up here that's going to be on top of this, but if it bothers you, just take one of them, whichever one is the most inconspicuous, and push it down 1 click. It's not going to be that big of a, well, in this case it is. Look at that. Anyway, if you don't have anything that lines up like that, and you can get away with lowering it 1 click, knock yourself out. Alright. So this tail end that's underneath the court floors, that's okay overlapping like that because all that's going to be hidden. So this is $88.99. $88.99. So let's clone it. We gotta cover up the other side. Okay, and then we can, alright, let's do it this way. This one's longer, so we're going to do this one at 90 degrees. I cloned it, by the way. I didn't grab it, I cloned it. Wonder how long I can make this without it looking funky. Without it looking funkified. Maybe I could see if I move that sucker. Let's go with 8. Okay, so Savvy partitions will change size from one end not on both ends the way that walls do. So we can go ahead and line it up on this end, the part that does not move. So we need to find the collide here and here. Once again, I left clicked on each one, so right about there. Make this a 13. Holy crap. Is that stretched out or what? Let's make it an 8. And then we'll put another one up there to so it won't look so stretched out. There's still a little gap right there. Okay. So we need to find the, I'm right clicking my mouse button on each of these. Oh, how come that didn't stick? Or maybe it did, I just didn't see it. So this needs to be a little further. And then that number's 199.11, so I'm going to clone it. So let's see what it looks like so far. Alright, starting to shape up. Starting to shape up a little bit. Now let me tell you, I do not light up, well you might be saying, well it's not that bright, BB, you know, you gotta click unlit. I do not click unlit as I go. I wait until the very end because lighting needs to be the very last thing you do. Once you get all the props in place, all the textures in place, you want to see what needs to be lit up, what doesn't, etc., etc. So you do your lighting last. And when you do lighting, you use a trigger and you use the lighting script. And if you have stuff already lit up, like, I'm not going to go into it in full detail, but when you do lighting, use a trigger. So you have to sink the trigger into the floor. It also has to be, the top of the trigger has to be sunk up into, like, through the ceiling. And the trigger has to encompass, like, the entire area that you want the lighting to be in. Because what's going to happen is when you put the lighting script on the trigger, it's going to turn everything inside of that trigger pitch black. If there are props inside of that trigger that have been unlit already, that have been lit up, it's not going to darken. It's not going to turn black, and the lighting is not going to work on it. This is why I leave lighting to the very last. Because if you click unlit on everything, and then at the end you decide to do lighting, you just fucked yourself. Because now you have to go back and you have to undo every one of those props that you clicked unlit on. So don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? So just do it as you at the end. As you go, don't click unlit on anything. So what I did was, the number on this side was 4527. So when I cloned this one across the way, across the club, I copied the number before I cloned it, and then because it would have offset it to 18607 or 20607. So I made this 19607 again, which made the duplicate in the same position. Then I just typed in 4527, and it slung it clear across the room right here and put it right into place. So you don't have to go dragging stuff all over if you just pay attention to the numbers. Deco by the numbers, people. Deco by the numbers. Use your numbers. Now there are some things that I do. I probably make it harder on myself. That's me. If you can do it easier, do it. But like, I have a history of that, because my brother used to always tell me, why do you go around, like, I'll be telling him a story and he'll interrupt me right in the middle of it, and he'll say, why do you always go around the house to get to the porch? I'll be like, what? He said, why? I said, I like details, damn it. And I would get so mad at him, and he would start laughing or giggling. He giggled. And but anyway, he doesn't do that anymore. He's been gone for about 10 years. He was in a car accident and died. People, wear your seatbelts. Wear your fucking seatbelts, okay? It can save your life one day. Holy Mother of God. I didn't mean to say that. That's blasphemy, isn't it? I suppose it's no worse than none of the other shit I've said. Deco can be very frustrating, but just keep at it. Now what? Thought I had this. Okay. I don't know what the hell I did the first time. Oh shit. Clicked the wrong thing. I should have right clicked that instead of left clicked it. Okay, so the stages are off a little bit. So I don't think anybody's gonna notice, to be honest. I really don't. I don't think anybody's gonna be running across the room with a measuring tape going, this is off by 6 inches. What were you thinking? As long as it's not blatantly honest, like blatantly off. Whoa, what? Oh, I know what's happened. These spaces in between, I know how to fix this. So this first one right here. So okay, so this one's at 95.80 and this one is at 94.98, so it's about 82 clicks off. It can be fixed. Fuck. Will it bother me? It probably will. May as well go ahead and fucking fix it. Grab the court floor. It's because of the distances I put between the court floors. That's 3, right? 1, 2, 3. And then the last one. Okay. Now they're lined up across from each other. They're even. Now. This needs to come back out this way. Whoops. Oopsie daisy. Okay. Now that's lined up. Oh shit. Wrong one. Can't remember. Was it 3? 3. It's not quite connected. Not quite lined up. Okay. Other side. Crap. I'm guessing. Okay. Yep. I'm gonna have a lot. I have a lot of oh crap moments in Deco. I don't know about you guys. I have a shit ton of them. Mm. Yeah, I'm getting tired of working with this, but I need to get as much done as possible because um this week so this needs to get done for a reason, and I just thought I would bring you guys along for the ride. But I don't know what's going to be happening for me this next week because my brother-in-law is on his deathbed, and I'm going to be going up there tomorrow and spending time with the family. So I need to get as much of this done as possible. What did I just do? I need to line it up on that side of the frickin'. Did anybody catch that? uh, I lined it up on the wrong side of the collided line. Okay. So it looks like we have the sides lined up. Now we need to cover the floor up here. I don't know yet. I don't know yet what I'm going to use for that. I don't know, but I think I'm going to end the video right here. So this is going to be part 1, and this is, I know it's over 2 hours. Okay, 2.5 hours. So that's a lot. That's a lot of deco. So, and it took me actually longer than that to actually do the work because remember I kept pausing and everything. So, but this is part 1 of the club, and I hope what I've shown you so far has been helpful, and I hope you can get it. I mean, I hope it helps, you know. So anyway, it's a start. Alright, good luck on starting your club or your new build, whichever. Maybe one day I'll do a house. I don't know. That would be a lot of videos because there's a lot involved when doing a house, it's a lot easier to start on as Abby, and then whenever you feel like you can invest the time and you have the patience to build from the ground up, that would be the time to do that. But anyway, alright, you guys, have a good one, and I'm out. Have a good one. Bye.